going to the chapel and we're gonna get married.
Antisocial Butterfly Podcast. We are here to inspire dreams and help you spread your wings to fly. Baby girl, it's okay to be shy. But now it's time to kiss fear goodbye.
Hello. Welcome to a brand new episode of Antisocial Butterfly Podcast. If you don't know, now you'll know. I'm your host, Lizzie Correa. I am so happy. So happy that you are here today. Decided to spend a little time of your day checking out this podcast to make sure that we continue to put a smile on your face. Hit the alert bell and subscribe to the channel. This week we are covering episode number 4. There is 6 episodes in this Netflix series, and there is so much to talk about, so much to cover, so we are breaking it down, baby. And of course, we are back with the tiara. And since I didn't have anything super fancy, dancy to wear for the podcast, I brought back my favorite fluffy coat that I got for Christmas. Thank you, baby, for giving it to me. I want to get more colors in this coat. It is a perfect coat to spice up any look. It's not super warm, so bear in mind, for my people out there who get really cold, like myself, you might want to wear something else a little warm or pack another coat or just be cold. Because like the saying goes, pain is beauty. Today's episode is brought to you by MARIBELCOSMETICS. Make sure you head over to MARIBELCOSMETICS right now. They have beautiful lashes, long-lasting liquid lipsticks, beauty accessories to meet all of your essential beauty needs. These lashes right here are so beautiful. They make a statement. The two that I want to show you today are Loca and Dramatic. I am actually wearing one of their lipsticks, and that is the color Poison right here. I am wearing it. If you want to save some money at checkout, make sure you use code LISSY15 at checkout. Now, let's get back into this week's episode. Okay, everybody, this is an exciting episode. This is the wedding episode. Meghan and Harry say I do. And the wedding is recorded for the whole world to see. The whole entire world live, no mistakes. If you trip and fall, everyone will see it. Alone, that is so much pressure to deal with. I believe that must be a common fear with brides-to-be when they walk down the aisle, is tripping in front of everyone. I wanted to take out my notes here to make sure I cover everything that I wanted to because, of course, your girl took some notes on episode 4. It's so exciting when two people want to dedicate their love in front of friends and family, and they were doing it not only in front of friends and family but in front of the whole entire world. Can you imagine the pressure? What dress are you gonna wear? What hair and makeup? The whole shebang. So much pressure. In the beginning of episode 4, Meghan opens up and shares something that their Secretary of State told her while everything crazy was going on in the media. I believe the Secretary of State in her own way wanted to make Meghan feel better and also try to help Meghan understand what was going on and why it was so hard to accept her. This Secretary of State had been working for the royals for a long time. She had been working next to the Queen for 20 years. And the Secretary of State told Meghan, with everything going on, imagine it's like a fish. Everything is going perfectly in the fish's world. It's swimming, it's strong, it's powerful, and it's swimming in the right direction, on the right current. And then one day, all of a sudden, a little organism comes in. A foreign organism, she says. And the entire thing, she says, squeals and ask questions. What is that? What is it doing here? We don't like it. Get it off us. The Secretary of State told Meghan that although the fish felt this way, that soon it would see that with this organism, the system would be stronger and faster and better, and that it would be hard in the beginning for them to adjust to this new thing, but in the end, it would be amazing. In the beginning, Meghan and Harry believed that this was going to be something so different, something beautiful to celebrate, and sadly, that was short-lived. On the day of the wedding, Meghan says that she felt super calm. She doesn't understand where this calmness came from, why she was so calm. She even asked herself, how was I so calm? Which made me ask myself, how was I during my wedding? What feelings was I going through? What thoughts were going through my mind? For all my beautiful butterflies out there who are married, comment below the emotions you were feeling on your wedding day. The emotions could change throughout your wedding day, but let's just say right in the beginning, in the morning, on your wedding day, what were the emotions that you were feeling? I remember feeling excitement, just super excited to marry my best friend and make it official. I don't remember feeling any nerves as I was getting my hair and makeup done or as I was putting on the dress. I truly think the nerves hit when the doors opened and it was my turn to walk down the aisle. Meghan's requests on the morning of her wedding were really simple. She wanted a mimosa, a croissant, and she wanted to hear the song, Going to the Chapel and We're Gonna Get Married. That song, and she was cool as a cucumber. And this wedding was expected to be public. As Diana's boy, the UK media was successful in getting his brother to have a public wedding, and so it was his turn to have a public wedding. And once they were successful in doing that, they can say, job well done. I believe Meghan is so beautiful. I guess I have fallen in love with the girl. She is just so beautiful inside and that radiates outside. And the dress that she chose was very timeless, very elegant. So much pressure to choose the dress that so many people are going to see. Literally millions of people all over the world. I can understand keeping it very classy, not revealing. I think she was stunning. She was so beautiful. In the video, they show her walking down the aisle in the church. You hear this beautiful woman singing as she's walking down the aisle. And Harry says that he chose the song that she walked down the aisle to. Meghan says it was so beautiful, so stunning, and yes, it was. I can hear that woman who sang at that wedding for hours. Super angelic, super effortless, such a beautiful voice. So the big question that we left unanswered on the last episode was Meghan's dad going to be at the wedding? Was he going to walk her down the aisle? Sadly, Meghan's dad did not show up to the wedding. She decided to ask Harry's dad, her future father-in-law, to walk her down the aisle. She said that she lost her father in all of this, and she had a good connection with Harry's father, was very charming, so she decided to ask him, and he said yes. I connected with that part because my father did not walk me down the aisle. That is another episode in itself. I'm telling you, the love story between Freddie and I could be a movie. I also had to ask somebody else that I felt close to at that time who played a fatherly role to walk me down the aisle. So I connected with her in that part with not having our fathers walk us down the aisle. There's so many things about weddings that are so beautiful. Seeing the bride as she walks down the aisle and then noticing how the groom looks at her is, I believe, another favorite part of everyone. As Harry sees beautiful Meghan, he says that the whole world was watching them, but in his world, it was just them two alone. They ask Harry, what were you thinking of when you saw Meghan? And he says, oh gosh, look what I found. Basically saying, that is mine, look what I get to keep forever. Meghan shares that they are both really good at finding each other in the chaos, and their wedding, there was so much going on. a lot of chaos, but they are really good at finding each other in the midst of all that. I wrote that down because I believe that is a great tip for any couple to remember, is to find each other in the chaos. Chaos being life. Chaos being when you're out and about. Just knowing how to communicate with one another is important. Seeing each other, being present, being intentional with seeing that other person eye to eye and checking in on them and not just going through the motions. So remember to always find your love, your partner in this crazy chaos of life. There was a beautiful gospel choir at the wedding. This was something new at a royal wedding. It had never been done before. Serena Williams says it was so amazing to have that choir there. It was courageous, breaking boundaries. Her culture was represented at that wedding and it meant everything. Little did I know that Meghan is friends with Serena Williams and she was at the wedding. If you guys are curious how Meghan Markle and Serena Williams became friends, they have been friends since 2014. They became friends while playing flag football together at a celebrity game. So not only was Meghan and Harry breaking boundaries at the wedding, they also broke boundaries at the reception. For their first song as a married couple, they danced to the song A Land of a Thousand Dances. She says she wanted to be fun and lively right from the beginning. So the wedding was perfect. It was beautiful. They had fireworks outside. Everyone felt the love. That night, it felt like the world paused for a second to appreciate a beautiful love story. Really, love did win that night. And then all of a sudden, everything changed. As a new member of the royal family, Meghan wanted to take her job seriously and make some positive change. Okay, so they got married in 2018 and this fire took place in 2017. It was called the Grenfell Tower fire. 72 people died with more than 70 injured, located in North Kensington, west of London. They said this is a very highly immigrated area. Meghan Markle tells in the docuseries how she became close with the women who survived the Grenfell fire. After watching news coverage of the disaster from Kensington Palace Cottage, the Grenfell fire left so many families displaced. She connected with this group of women at the Almanar, which is a mosque in Grenfell. And these women were just living in hotels and were given meal vouchers for fast food. And it only takes one woman who wanted to feel normal again, asked her local mosque if she could use the kitchen to cook. And then Meghan started coming around and helping them cook. She got right in there using the gloves and apron. And after some time, she asked the women, why can't you guys come together every day to cook and congregate and conversate? They said they didn't have the funds for it. And then Meghan, having the great idea, the entrepreneurship that she has, says, let's make a cookbook. And making a speech for this cookbook and having this event at the Kensington Palace was her first role as a new member of the royal family. It is so easy to hand people money, but when you give them an idea, something that they can work with to make the money, that is the best way to teach someone a life skill that they can pass on to their own family and friends, and even make them a better human in the process. So as a royal couple, they had duty to attend, they had tours to go to, and things started changing when they became very popular with the public. Some people in the institution, people in the royal palace, started noticing that there was a shift happening in the power dynamics. The public's love was so intense for Harry and Meghan that there was a fear that it would lose interest for the Queen. And sadly, there was a plan made against Harry and Meghan to make them irrelevant or to get them out of the box. And they said it was after their Australia tour that things really started shifting. And on the brighter side, there was something cooking in the oven for Meghan. She was pregnant. They were welcoming a baby boy. And so now all these negative stories were coming out with Meghan. There was nothing that she could do right. Everything that she did was tore apart and made into a negative story. So they were doing a side-by-side of the stories that would come out with Kate versus Meghan. For example, example, when Kate was pregnant and she was holding her stomach, as women do, they hold their baby bump, she was praised for it. But when Meghan was holding her baby bump, she was ridiculed, ripped apart for it. Another example, there was Kate where she was wearing a white dress that was off the shoulder, again praised for wearing such a beautiful outfit. And then you have Meghan wearing almost a similar thing off the shoulder. And what can you guess? It was a negative story about Meghan. There was a turning point when Meghan finally delivered the baby. And there was tradition that the royals, once they had a baby, the mom and dad would come at a specific stairs, specific hospital, and show the baby to the world right after delivering it. And of course, Meghan and Harry, breaking boundaries, they decided not to do that. And they didn't do it just because they wanted to be rebels and to create a scene. No, Meghan had her own doctor that worked at a different hospital. They wanted for her to have the baby over there at a specific hospital just because of a tradition of her showing off the baby to the world, because this place already has the access. The media people know how to get in and out. Really, it sounds ridiculous when you say it. They put their foot down. They said, no, we will show you our baby 2 days after. They complied. They still showed the baby to the public. They could have said, no, we're not going to even show you the baby at all. And what do you guys guess? The media ripped them apart for not showing the baby the day of, that they were being disrespectful to the tradition, blah, 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 blah. I mean, they wanted them to hand over their baby in a silver platter. Like, come on, it's their baby. So the media started getting really nasty and really bad with what they were saying. They were putting Kate and Meghan against each other. They were creating the story that Meghan was drama, that she was just starting all the problems. And sadly, Meghan really couldn't reach out to anybody. She really couldn't even text her friends without getting permission. Although the media is the media and they can come up with the most craziest stories, but it's still an attack. And Meghan is human. And just like anybody who gets consistently attacked negatively time and time again, it's going to impact you in some way. And it did affect Meghan. She had no one to turn to, and she got really low. She got really sad and depressed. And she felt like she needed to end her life, to end all the madness that was going around her. And she tried to reach out to people. This part in the episode, they show her mom talking about when Meghan opened up to her that she wanted to end her life. And it was so hard to watch that. I mean, her mom was trying to hold back from crying, to know how strong Meghan is inside and that she had to be ripped apart, that her spirit was so broken down that the only way out was for her to end her life. It's sad. And Meghan reached out to Harry, and Harry says that sadly at that time that his royal duties were blinding him of his husband duties. He says that it was more important for him at that time of what people might think if he was late for an event instead of being there for his wife. Meghan reached out to people that worked in the royal system that could actually do something about it. She wanted to go to somewhere for help, but they were more concerned of their image. They were more concerned of how that would look for them if they would seek help for her. And all Harry would get from the family is, well, all of our family members have gone through this before. She should go through it as well. Why should she be treated differently? Instead of saying, well, you're agreeing that we've all gone through this. When is it going to be enough? Why do we have to let it continue to happen? In conversations that Harry has had with his dad, he shares that his dad has told him, well, there's nothing that you can really do. The media is the media. And Harry disagrees. He says, no, we can do something. If we don't do something, that is worse. So her friends, being the beautiful people that they are, loving on her, knowing that something was going on, they wanted to celebrate her before she had the baby with a beautiful baby shower. They flew her. She came to New York to have this nice gathering. And what did the media do? Of course, the UK media created a story that she spent all this lavish money, that she went on a jet. So they turned this beautiful celebration and ripped it apart into something negative to fit their own story. And it's like, can't women, independent women who have used their own hard work money, celebrated any way they can by celebrating a beautiful memory and celebration in their friend's life. And then the UK media also takes this beautiful thing that she did with this women in Grenfell who had been displaced by this fire, and at the end supported by helping them create a cookbook. These women wear a veil over their heads. The media decided to take a photo of Meghan and these women and somehow paint it to that she was a terrorist working with ISIS. I mean, come on, this is the kind of things that she was dealing with. And Meghan was not the only member in the royal family to feel this kind of depression and sadness and this kind of pressure from the media. Princess Diana also felt the same way. During one of their tours, Meghan shares a quote from Maya Angelou, and I hope it encourages some listener or viewer out there. And the quote goes, "Each time a woman stands up for herself, without knowing it, possibly without claiming it, she stands up for all women." When you stand up for yourself, that could mean so many things. But for me in that moment when I read it is when you stand up for yourself against your own self, against your own thoughts, against your own negative thoughts that tell you can't do it, that you are not enough, and you show up and prove yourself wrong and stand up for yourself. You are standing up for all the other women who have not yet the strength to stand up and believe in themselves that they also can do it. When things around you are not changing and you have tried and tried again to make it work and to make it change, sometimes you have to have a conversation, and that's a hard conversation with yourself. And that is what Meghan and Harry had to do with what was going around them. Nothing was changing. It was only getting worse. So they really had to sit down and say, what do we have to do to make this work for us? And that is the next episode, episode 5, which will be with my special guest. So stay tuned for episode 5 of the Netflix series. Thank you so much for joining me on this series. We have 2 episodes left. Thank you once again. Muchas gracias, mi people, mi gente, for listening to this episode. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And like we say here, don't forget to kiss fear goodbye.